welcome you to my YouTube channel where you will find Commodore 64 and Atari programs available at your leisure. And mostly I focus on tutorial programming for basic and assembly language. And this series will obviously be on the Commodore 64, and I'm using the WinVice emulator here, the C64 emulator, to kind of show you one of the programs I've been working on. It's actually an older program, but I've kind of converted it over to WinVice so that you can kind of see it and you'll be able to download it later. So what it obviously is showing you is several different redefined characters I've created on the screen. This was originally from a game I had created back in the 90s, but I thought I would just add this in. But what we'll do is we'll go along and we'll redefine these as we go along, and I'll show you how to change them and make them into what you want them to look like and everything. So let's kind of get started on that. Okay, so the first thing you'll want to do is obviously see the program. Let me kind of jump into the code here. To do a restore on the WinVice simulator, I learned this the other day. You hold down the caps lock key and you press the page up, and it'll take you right back like doing a run, stop, restore like you would on a Commodore 64. You might also notice in the background here I have the original program running here. Let me kind of run this again here and show it to you. Right there is the original program. The only problem is the background here is kind of messed up a little bit. Basically I redefined the background screen character. That's why it's showing the lines on the screen, and that's why I thought I would just use this as an example instead. So here's well, I went too fast, but there's the code. I'll slow it down a little bit next time here to show you. You can kind of see it. You'll have the program on the D64, so you'll be able to look at it yourself, but this is just where it's printing out the character locations for the graphics you saw earlier. This is the assembly language to move the redefined character set. Basically, it removes all the characters on your keyboard that you can see, and everything underneath the Commodore keyboard are stored in ROM, and you have to move them into RAM so you can copy over them and make your own characters. And that's what this does down here. This is actually to break apart for the assembly language for this code that you saw up here earlier. And it kind of showed you the line and the bytes beside it. So I'm not going to explain all that, but basically it's just a redefined character set. So if you use that assembly language routine, it should work on your programs. So what we'll do is we'll jump in here, and I'll kind of explain some of the code here just for those who are new and everything. These lines right here, this is 53280. This is taking care of the border color, so it changes the border color. I think it was red. Yeah, 2 is red. And this right here is the background color. The screen right here you're seeing changes it to black, which is 0. This right here, 53270. This is, I believe this is the extended character mode. Let me look that up real quick here. I don't have them all immediately memorized, but I think that's the extended mode. It's the bit set. So the bit set is 216, which I'm pretty sure that's the extended character mode. Well, looking in the book here, it shows it's how you get the high resolution characters and basically the multicolor characters that you're seeing on the screen. So it kind of, here it is, it just says multicolor mode in the book here. So if you want to see where I'm looking at, this is the book I'm using right here. Right there you see 53270, and it's down, I think it's down here at the bottom actually, right there. Multicolor mode right there, so that's how you change the multicolor mode. And then 53283, I believe that's one of the colors. Let me see. Okay, 53280 is the background color right here. Boy, working backward again here. 53 It's at the bottom. Right there, background color register 2. And that changes the 10-bit pair of multicolor character graphics. So that's how you change the colors that you're seeing in the multicolor. So if we change that, it'll affect something, and maybe I'll change that later. The next line here, this is a print to clear the screen. And let me see, that's done with, I think you hold the shift key. Let me look on the keyboard here. So if I were doing it on the Commodore, I'd be hitting the shift and the clear. So I think it's, so basically you hold down the shift key and you press the home button on your computer, and then that creates the clear screen right there. You see how it cleared the screen. Okay, the next lines here, this is reading in our character data for the assembly language, 57 bytes here, or 58 bytes if you count the 0 there, into location 49152, which we system to later to activate it. And this right here begins the movement of our character. Since our character's already been moved from ROM into RAM, we can now redefine them and start changing the graphic characters, which are pointing right to this memory location. So 12288, you might notice that that's for the sprites, but here in this example we have it set up to point to the character set. You can actually make that point to different areas in memory by changing where it's pointing to. So right here, this is the first character, second character, third character, fourth, fifth, and so on. I'll show you the data down here because there's a bunch of them I changed here. You'll see these are all the ones that are being changed. There's always going to be 8 bytes, that's from 0 to 7 total. And here's the characters. Obviously, they're printing on the screen. These tabs are just moving it over. So if you print tab 2 and you print your name, you'll see it moves it over, basically. That's just positioning where it's at. If you print tab 16, your name, it moves it a little bit more. So that's just basically how you position where it's going to move on the screen at. So this 646 right here, these are changing the background colors. This is how I made it set the mode. Oops. That one didn't have any color. So if you change 646, you'll see the colors changing like so. And do whatever you want them to change into. And there's going to be 16 total. There's the 16th character. And if you go back to 1646, 16 goes back to black, basically, which is the same thing as 646, 0. So, all right. And let me do a soft reset here again. Okay, next. Let's see. We'll get into the data statements here. Because this is, like I said, this is all this is doing. It's just positioning the characters. Go to 530 just freezes it on that line so it doesn't go anywhere else in the program. So right here you see right after this 2896, this is the assembly language right here. And it ends right here. And 570 starts our redefined character set. So 570 down are all the characters that we're redefining in memory. So I'm going to work with one that I already know, that I already have redefined, which is this last one here, this 890. We'll use this one, and this is going to change that brick character. I'll show you that on the screen here in a minute. So this character you're seeing right here, this is the brick character that's being redefined in the screen. So we're going to kind of change that one, and I'll show you on graph paper, which is the easiest way to do this, how this is really done. Now I did demonstrate this back when I was making the Atari videos, but for those who are new to the Commodore videos would not have actually seen this. So I'm going to kind of move out the camera here and show you what I'm doing on paper here again. Give me a second to figure out where this is. Okay, right there. Try to get as close as I can. Right there, you see it says 128, 64, 32, 16, 8421. Those are the powers of 2 bytes that are defined for your character. And the way you do that is you just take 2 to the power of 2, which is 2, 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 2, which is 4, and so on. You keep multiplying those 2's until you end up at the last one. So basically, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 32 times 2 is 64, and 64 times 2 is 128. And that makes up the entire bits for the character. Now what you want to do is basically draw in your character. I'm just going to make up my own little character in here. trying to think of something I could design, because it has to be within the 8x8 range, so you can't have it any bigger than that. So whatever you decide to make, it's up to you. So trying to think of something I don't really have yet. I originally did a pipe in one of my editor demos. I'll probably do that one again here if I can get it to work here. I'll show you what I'm doing here in just a minute, guys. I'm just kind of drawing it in right now. It's going to kind of look like the top of a T, but it's basically like a connection to a pipe, basically. So this is kind of what I came up with already to kind of show you. See it there? And then I'm going to fill in these characters. I'm going to fill in these characters on the side here. Down here, we're going to fill them in based on what's showing on the screen there. So I'll show you how that's calculated. This one will be an easier example, but I'll probably try a few other examples so you guys get the hang of it and everything. Okay, so here's what I came up with. Okay, kind of see those numbers to the side. I'm kind of watching, make sure the camera comes in. It's very hard to hold this and really get a good focus. I hope to come up with some better editing in the future, because this really is a pain to try to get this to work right. But you can see the numbers 250, 0, 0, 255, 255, 255, 24, 24, 24. The way that's calculated, if you look here at the very top, you might have already figured this out. There's numbers at the top, and you follow where those numbers are going. Like this is showing 16 right here, and this one is showing 8. You take 16 plus 8 and you get 24. And obviously if you add all these numbers, you're going to get 255, and if there's no numbers, you just put zeros in. So you always want to calculate the numbers, just add 1 to the next one. So if I put 16, or if I put 32 plus 16, you would add those two numbers and you would put the result over there. So basically that's all you're doing, is you're just calculating the rows and you're sticking them in the corners like that. That's the old-fashioned way of doing it. So we're going to go ahead and put that character on the screen, and we're going to change this brick wall here. I'm going to remark out the original one so we can keep that one. Actually, you know what to do? I'll just add another character. Why change what we already have on the screen? We'll just add an additional character here. So since we've already got it on the screen, makes sense. So we'll just take the next row from 325 here. Remember, this is this right here is going to represent the brick wall. So we're going to add a new one here. And we want to get the next location in memory. So what I always just do is this, since I'm not always great at adding things. Add 8 to it each time, and that will get the next location where we need to start it. So 122.888 would get the next start in memory for that character. Okay, now that we've redefined it, now that we poked it in, we need to make sure we put the data statement in, or it's going to give us an error message because it's not reading all the data in. I can show you that here in a second if you want to see it. So we'll add 900 in a minute, but if I try to run the program, it'll stop. You won't see it because it'll crash right there. If I turn it on the regular mode, you'll be able to see what's going on here. Oops. Right there. You see that there's error message in line 326. And if you go to 326 there, and you try to read DT, it's not reading in their next data, because every time you're doing read, it's going to keep reading data in. So it's looking for 7 more bytes of data. So basically, 890, we need a 900 in here. And so we're going to add in our new character that we just created. And I'll show you how to get it up on the screen here. Okay, you're not seeing it yet because I haven't displayed it yet. But if we go through the character set here, I know I'll be able to find it here somewhere. Figure out where it is. I think it's maybe it's under here. B, C, D, E, F, G. Another thing we could do too is, let's go back into the program and I'll look at what the character it was defined for the wall. I already have it kind of memorized here. It's either I or the J or K or something. It's this line right here, 490. So let's see. I'm just going to go through the characters to see which one it is. B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. It's not any of those. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I think it's J right there. So K should be the next one. So we could probably put another line in here somewhere. So let's just remember, what was that, Control K or Shift K. And then we'll add that in and I'll show you how to get it on the screen here. And we know it's Shift K, so if I do here, we should be able to see it right there. There it is. See, remember that one we just redefined? That's it right there. That's what it looks like on the screen. If you put it side by side, obviously you're going to be able to see what it kind of looks like. Oops. Right there. That's just what we added on the screen. Now we could add another section to it. I think I'll add a kind of a top part to it here. I'll show you what I'm doing here in a minute. Just an extension of it. And then we'll add those new characters in here. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so where's my pencil? You see at the top here where I put the new line, I put 64 and I put 2. So these zeros are now going to change to 66 because 64 plus 2 is 66. So each of those is going to be a 66. So let's go ahead and change that line. It was 900. Now we need to do an insert. I don't know how to do an insert, so I'm going to have to type this over again. Anybody knows, you can go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm still trying to learn my way around this thing. Now I'll stop it again and I'll show you the new character. Right there it is. So see how it looks? Just like the one we just redefined. Something is a little bit wrong with it. Let me go back and check and see what I did here. You notice how it's got the little, at the bottom there, it's got the little hanging down. So we must have stuck a 1 in there somewhere after the 255. So I might have chalked off the number or something. Let's see. Right there. See that 25 is what threw it off. So it was adding an extra digit in. So if I take it down to 24, it won't look like that anymore. Okay. And there we go. That's what it looks like. Kind of stick them on top of each other and kind of see what they look like. Now if you want them to look really good and kind of pair together, we can add them. And trying to see, we could probably stick a little line in between the bottom part here. I think I'll do that now. Just coming up with some weird characters. Who knows what this might turn into. But what I did now is, if you look at the bottom here, I just added in this whole line at the bottom, which was originally just 24, which was the centerpiece, and I added it all the way across. So every time you fill in all the dots, it's going to be 255. So we're going to change that to 255 in the program. I know I'm not changing it on the paper, but I'm just changing it on in the computer here. So those last ones will become, the very last one will become 255. So now we can kind of get a connection between the pieces. There we go. Now we got sort of like a building going on or something here. So we stick them side by side. They look a little bit different now. Oops. I mean, who knows what you can make. I mean, you can use your imagination and kind of come up with anything you want, you know, and just let your mind be the the limits of what you really want to do with something, you know. And there's no end to what you can really create, you know. Like I said, you could really go on to make some pretty cool stuff. Like I got a brick wall here, you know. Might have like a building or something here. You could make windows on it and stuff like that. Just use your imagination, you know. Just let it go all as far as you can take it, you know. Change the colors here. I'm not positioning anything. I'm just changing them right now to show you as I change the colors here. See, that could be a door or something. I don't know, maybe. And then you have to change the color back again. If you don't, then it's going to be the same color. Oops. Oh, there's the ladder. So that's the whole point of this video. I could sit there and draw an entire screen, but I think you guys get the hang of it now, what to do basically here. So this is how you go ahead and redefine your own characters and, you know, change what you want. If you want to do a multicolor, you just set the character mode beside it and use the next highest color in memory, which I'll show you on the screen here. So if we take poke 646, comma, I think it's 12, that would be the next highest, and that's the multicolor. So there you got the brick, and it looks a little bit more redefined than the other one. You've got a couple different colors, and you got the white and the gray going on there. And then we'll use our new K, and you can kind of see what that one looks like. It's got its own characters. Of course, if we change the colors, then you're going to be able to see them a little bit better. Except I don't know how to change them on here. Okay, there we got like a yellow going. You see it's kind of like got like a yellow, a gray, and a black in it. It's just picking up those missing parts too and adding in the black. Anything beside it with a line beside it. Let me show you how. If you look here and you see that there's one line beside it, you can redefine this character color right here beside it. Since it's already right directly beside it, it's going to be set as a different multicolor. And that's kind of how the multicolor works. So if I change one of these, I could add like one to the top here. Let's do that real quick and I'll show you too. It might be hard to see it because we've got it so squished together here. But let's try it anyway and see if we can get a third color maybe in here. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm just going to add, I'll show you what I just did here. I was checking to make sure it was still recording there. Okay, so what we've done here is I just basically gone in and I added this new line right here beside this wall right here. See, the first line was right here, like identical to that one, and I just made it a little bit thicker. So I'm going to go ahead and change my character set again. Remember, just change your data statement. Of course, we're going to lose all that, but that's all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add 64. You can do it on your computer too. 64 plus 32 plus 2. Oops. 64 plus 32. I wish we get that plus as the minus. And now 98 is going to become, if I've done that correctly, let's see, 64, 32 plus 2 is 98. Okay, so what I basically did here, I'll show you up close again. I took 64 plus 32 plus 2, and then that's how we get the 98. So we're going to change our new line, only the first one, to 98. Well, the first two. So these 66s are going to become 98. And try to see if we can get that new line color in there. And I'll draw it on the screen again. And what I'm doing, I didn't explain this to you, or maybe I did. To get the character, you have to hold the shift key because you're hitting the character underneath it. And that right there is the wall. So what we're doing is we're using K. So you hold down the shift key and you press K, and you'll see your new character. Remember, we still have to change the color, or you won't see the multicolor. So what you do is you hit the control key, like you would on your Commodore, and you hit a number, usually like 7 or 8, and you get the new color. And you might not be able to see it, but there is a new color in there. It's kind of hard to see on this screen though, but let's see if I do enough of them. Maybe that'll show up here. It picked up a white. See the little white in there? It wasn't in there before. See, there's no white down here. It picked up a white color. Because that's what we have it set to, the white color. So, but you can change it to whatever you want it to be. There's the blue one. I was looking for that one. That one's kind of cool. See, we're on our way to making some redefined characters. Now I could even show you on the background here too. It looks a little bit different, but you can see it's still working here. It's redefined the characters to what you want them to look like. Change the color again. Now you got a green in there. So That's basically all I wanted to show you in this video. It's not set up to design an entire screen, but you could, when you position these side by side, like I did up here in these examples, you're going to obviously be able to create your own, well, up here, you'll be able to create your own little worlds and stuff like that. These are just showing you side by side what the characters would look like if we had random directly on the screen. You could position these though too, and I'll show you how to do that here. So let's take the K's and line them up like we did with these other characters. I'll just erase one of these other ones to show you how it works. So we'll take the first one out. I never liked that first one anyway. And what are we doing? We're using K again, just so I know. Okay, so the first one should be this one. And what I usually do is I do a test like this to see if it's the first line here. You can change and just add in something like this. Just put an extra letter in there and you can see where it draws it at. Or it might not even draw it. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I don't have Z redefined, so you probably ain't going to see that one. So let me go back. We'll use one of the same characters, I guess. I'm trying to figure out which one that is. There we go. That would tell me if I grabbed the right character, which I'm pretty sure I did. Right there, so I added the new character beside it there. So we're going to change that line to our own, which I believe I said was K. Say H-I-J-K-E. We'll find out in a minute if we did it right. Yep, and there it is side by side. You can kind of see what it looks like now. Now we can obviously change the color to redefine it here. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to add an extra one on here too. Just change this color right here, and this will get the redefined character that you want, or the multicolor, excuse me. Now you can see it's in multicolor versus this one that's not. So that's basically how you do it, and you can, like I said, you can reposition them side by side and start drawing your own stuff on the screen. I would probably do that in this video, but it might take a while. Maybe we'll do that in another video or something. But you could draw, you know, reposition the wall. Well, that's why I created that original design editor, so I could actually draw on the screen and then save the screen when I'm done. You might have saw that in my original, one of my other videos. So that's basically it I wanted to show you. I hope you guys can start, you know, making up your own characters and having some fun with this. Use it with the sprite example, because eventually later I'll be doing that. Because this is going to start becoming more than just a tutorial. It's going to eventually become a game in its due time. So I'll draw a screen and you'll be able to see the world and stuff like that. That'll probably be the next video. Hopefully I'll be able to create the screen. Just create one screen for now and show you what it looks like, and then drop the sprite in the background. So that is kind of be a little bit of a challenge. I'd have to move the character set and do other things, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, definitely go ahead, subscribe, and just, you know, give me your comments on what you liked and what you don't understand about the video and what you're looking for going forward. And thanks for watching.